One of the biggest misconceptions around mindfulness and meditation, that usually is the first stumbling block, is the idea that I can't do it. You see people sat there quietly, sitting still, they look calm, they look tranquil. You've seen images of the Buddha, and we think, well, I can't do that because my mind is a mess. It's too busy. I'm too distracted. I'd never be able to sit still for 5, 10 minutes. Well, of course not. Just like you can't go into the gym and walk to the heaviest dumbbells and start lifting them. Mindfulness is a practice. Training your mind, creating new moments of mind is a practice. We could talk about a garden. So maybe your garden is a mess. There's weeds, there's brambles. So what do? Well, if we want a nice, beautiful garden, we have to change it, cultivate it. We have to work on the garden. We have to start weeding and then planting the plants and flowers that we want to enjoy, to make that garden into an enjoyable space. Now, we're always inhabiting our mind. That's your permanent abode wherever you go. For many of us, it's a busy place. It won't let you be. It's too busy pulling you this way and that way. I want, I don't want. And we're just constantly trying to negotiate that. This is the fundamental teaching of the Buddha, that we're constantly trying to grab things we do want whilst trying to push away all the things we don't want. Instead, with mindfulness and meditation, we learn how to just turn down the volume on that thinking, busy mind until we experience moments where we're not craving, we're not avoiding, we're quiet, we're at peace, and that feels good. And so we start practicing to drop more and more into those deep, tranquil moments where everything is quiet. But you don't start there. You start mindfulness practice with the mind you bring through the door. And that's a busy mind. You have a whole lifetime of tendencies and habits and busyness behind you as you sit down for the first time. But we practice. This is how you start to change your life. We start our practice by taking our attention away from the busy mind, and we put our attention into the feeling of breath in the nostrils, for instance. And with practice, we just start to focus on that sensation, soaking into that real life, flowing breath, the texture, the feeling. And as you do that, you begin to concentrate your mind. So people say, I could never meditate because I have no concentration. Well, concentration is a side effect of mindfulness. We begin just by focusing onto that feeling of breath in the nose. You keep coming back to it every time your mind drags you away. You come back, you come back, you come back. And what starts to happen is your mind starts to focus, to cohere, to soak into that one feeling. And it ignores everything else. So what starts to happen is you become concentrated. You don't have to start with a concentrated mind, but the mind begins to become more unified and calm and tranquil the more you sort of wrap it around that feeling of breath. So you don't need to start with a concentrated mind. That comes as a product of practice. Another reason people think I could never meditate is because we feel I can't sit still. I'm always being triggered by my mind and my emotions and my reactions. I'm too busy. I don't want to sit still. Well, again, sitting still is a skill. We're not used to sitting still. We don't want to sit still as kids, and we don't really want to sit still as adults. One of the reasons, perhaps, that we don't really want to sit still, certainly in meditation, is that we do have the intuition that if we sit still, we're going to have to feel something. We're going to have to feel or recognize everything I'm carrying around with me, in my mind, emotionally. And I don't really want to feel that because no one's ever taught me how to do it. So if I stay busy, I can avoid that confrontation. And that's why we stay busy. So we do have an understanding that if I start sitting still, maybe I'll start feeling things. Luckily, mindfulness gives us a series of methods to be able to navigate that and dissolve it over time. So it's not really an obstacle. But again, you don't have to start by being a very calm, relaxed person. You sit down on the chair or meditation cushion with a body already full of stress, tension, chronic pain. You begin there. Once we start to concentrate our mind on the breath, for instance, and the mind begins to calm down, become tranquil, that has a ripple effect through your body. Your nervous system starts receiving the message, everything is okay right now. So as the mind begins to calm down, your body begins to relax emotionally, physically. It's like you shift up the gears into deeper states of stillness and relaxation, which feels better than being a contracted ball of stress. And so then, almost by accident, you find yourself sitting quietly for 5-10 minutes without moving at all. And that's just a product of the practice. So yes, you start with a busy mind that's driving you crazy. That's where you start. But by beginning to sit and practice and focus your attention into your present moment experience, your mind starts to calm down and your body starts to calm down. And then you realize that was 25 minutes and I didn't move. My mind was calm. There were moments where I wasn't even thinking at all. And those moments where I wasn't thinking, I was at peace. I was still. And we start discovering that this happiness that the mind is chasing, it's not out there. It's in here. It's an inherent state that we carry within us. And in meditation, all we're doing is discovering how to stop and drop back into our original happiness. So having a busy mind, not being able to sit still, they are not the obstacles to practice. That's what you start with. Okay, that's the raw material. And then you can measure that because over time you start to notice, oh, my mind isn't so busy. I'm not so tense in my body. I don't get carried away by my emotions. I can sit for longer without any discomfort. Why is this happening? Because the practice works. This is how you transform your life from the inside